Now, typically I don't like whiners. It's unnecessary and it's annoying. But when it comes to superchargers, it's a totally different story. I've been really happy with this Gen 2 Whipple 2.3. But one of the things that I knew about beforehand but didn't realize the extent of it until I had it on the car, since last year. I've been driving the car since then, and there is just no blower whine. It's two factors with this car particularly. One is that with all these two new generation Gen 2 2.3 Whipples, they're extremely efficient, and you just don't hear the whine like you do with something like an Eden or a ported Eden, because the more efficient the blower is, the less it's going to whine. So that's a positive. That's why this makes such a good power. The downside is that I don't hear anything. And the second part of that, which is more tailored toward my car, is that it's pretty loud. It has an off-road X-pipe with long tubes and boiler stingers. So I really don't hear anything, but even if the exhaust was toned down a little bit, I still don't think I would really hear this thing screaming like an Eden or even a VMP does, or anything like that, or even the Gen 1 2.3 Whipples. Now, I do have a set of catalytic converters going on this car, hopefully later on this summer. And when those are on, it will change the tone just a little bit. It will bring the noise down, level down some, but it's not really going to be enough, I believe, so that I'll be able to hear the blower whine. I just think the way it's set up right now is just not possible. So I'm considering doing a little experiment with this car and seeing what I can do to try to extrapolate some whine out of this blower. The way my setup is on it right now, which is ideal for making a good amount of torque and a good amount of power and not worrying about belt slip or anything like that, is that I have a 6-pound lower with a 3.5 upper, the stock pulley on the Whipple. Now that's a great combination, but the issue with that is that it's not really spinning the blower all that much from the pulley aspect on the blower. So what I'm thinking of doing is kind of changing the pulley combo for the lower and the upper to spin the Whipple faster and to see if I can get some whine out of it after the cats are on, so that, hopefully I can hear it at that point. As you notice, any driving videos that I've done with this car since the Whipple has been on it, you never hear the blower whine. A lot of really great exhaust tone, but just no whine at all, like I did from my VMP Gen 3R, like I did from my Eden that was pulleyed on my other Terminator that I had before this one. So what I'm thinking of doing is changing the current setup where it's a 6-pound lower, 3.5 upper, and going to a 4-pound lower and a 3.2 upper. Now on the Whipple website, it says every 0.125 inch increase or decrease is 1 pound of boost. So if you go up a pulley size by 0.125, you'll lose a pound of boost, where if you go down a pulley size, you'll gain 1 pound of boost with every 0.125 change in the diameter of the pulley. So if I go with a 3.2 from the current 3.5, I'll be gaining 2 pounds of boost. Now the reason I want to change my lower is because I'm right at the threshold of 93. This runs at 18 PSI right now. If it's the day I'm recording this is really hot. I could probably see 15, but the way this heat is, it's not going to push 18. On really cool mornings, that when I brought this to work, I've seen 20 PSI on this, and it's just cool, really crisp air, and it just makes more boost because of that. So I want to change the lower to a smaller pulley on the lower. So I would decrease from a 6-pound lower to a 4-pound lower. So I lose 2 pounds of boost on the lower, but I gain 2 pounds on the upper, which will keep my boost level exactly where it is right now, theoretically, according to the Whipple website. I don't want to get into the issue of having to run Torco or Boostain or anything like that in a regular street driving instance. I just want to be able to run it as it is and not worry about octane and all that stuff, and having to worry about running an additive just to run the car on the street. Now, the other solution, which I really honestly don't want to go down that road of doing it, is doing a Kenne Bell swap. I could put on a Kenne Bell 2.6 and it would definitely scream. any of the Kenne Bells, well, the 2.2, the 2.6, 2.8. The reason why I don't really want to do a Kenne Bell is I don't have anything against them. The 2.2 would definitely be out because it just doesn't make the power level that I want to be at with this. And I don't want to do a blower swap and give up the power that I'm getting with this 2.3 Whipple. I'm not saying the 2.6 will make less, it may make more, I don't know, but I don't want to go down that path of swapping a blower and then not being happy with it because it's a different blower and it's just not something I really want to get into. It will definitely scream, but I think I can get some more whine out of this 2.3 just as it is now. Plus there's a price point. If I went and did a Kenne Bell on this, the cost of the blower is like around $3,800. I already looked. To do an upper and lower pulley swap on this as it sits now is about $300. So there's that. I mean, I could always sell the 2.3 to offset the cost of a Kenne Bell, but it's just a lot more involved with doing that and not something I really want to get into. I would either do the blower swap here at my house, which we did with taking the Eden off and going with the 2.3 Whipple, or I'd have it done down at Cobra Dan's. But either way, that's just something I really don't want to get into, but haven't exactly ruled it out, but it's kind of like the last option at this point. I've looked at all of the boost charts online and read through a bunch of forums and a lot of posts on SVTP regarding this 2.3. And there's a lot of information out there, but that can also be bad because you get a lot of stuff jumbled together. Not a lot of separation between the Gen 1 2.3 and the Gen 2 2.3. There is a difference between the two. The Gen 2 makes significantly more power than the Gen 1 did. This made awesome numbers on the day that I dynoed it. And if I'm not getting 650 or close to that, then I don't really want to do a blower swap. And in all honesty, as nice as the Kenne Bells are, I know the 2.6 can make power, but I don't want to have to do anything drastic to do that. From the numbers that I was seeing from videos and forum posts and stuff like that, it seemed as though the 2.6s were like around 620, 630-ish maybe. And I got, over 650 on this with a 2.3. A lot of people don't believe that, but that's what the dyno spit out for a number. And the correction factor used on that day actually hurt me because the ambient temperature outside was actually lower than what the correction factor was set at. I was in temperatures of high 50s to low 60 degrees, and the correction factor for the dyno was like 72 at sea level, and I'm at sea level anyway where it was dynoed, so the correction factor actually hurt me. And what this makes for power on a day like this is 92 degrees today. It's extremely hot, and it won't even make close to that on a day like this. So the dyno was just, whatever number it spits out is what it spits out. As soon as you want to strap it from the dyno and drive it down the road, it's not making that power anymore because the ambient temperature used for the correction and the altitude level for where you're actually at is never going to match up exactly as what the correction factor is for the dyno. So people can harp all they want on what this made for power. It doesn't bother me. It made what it made. I was there. Very reputable tuner. The dyno doesn't read high. It would have been well known by a lot of people at this point for as long as he was in business if it read high. It's just a healthy engine with a good combo and a good blower and really, really good air that day. So if you happen to have a Whipple 2.3 on your 0304 Cobra, what is your pulley combo and what are you seeing for boost? I really would like to know if you could leave that down in the comments. I would like to keep this at 18 pounds if at all possible. It runs pretty much there all the time. If I'm wide open throttle, it's over 15, it's getting real close to 20, but it doesn't go over 20 except for when it's a really, really cool morning, and then it will touch on 20. But let me know where your combo is and what you're seeing for PSI. Also, I have the long tubes, which cuts down on boost just a little bit, and I believe that will help me as well. So I think with the pulley combo that I suggested before, that should get me to where I want to be, but I still want to talk to Cobra Dan before going ahead and buying all the parts for it to do it. But let me know down in the comments what your pulley combo is and what kind of boost that you're making. If you're new to the channel, the sub button is down below. And if you made it this far on the video, please give it a like. But above all else, thanks for watching.